Hello, Targar friends. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And today was Dynamic Effort Bench Press Day. But just a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please click like down below. That's all I ask for everyone who enjoys the vlogs. Help me keep the likes higher than the dislikes. I don't ever ask anything of people on my channel other than to click like on my videos, so please do so. All right, only you guys can help offset the dislike script that people run. So over to the speed benching. Today we did bands. This was week 2 of the wave, so we're at 55%. And, I've had people actually comment on some of that stuff. They'll be like, well, maybe you should go lighter. I think you should be faster, blah, blah, blah. Look, and I understand, and this comes up on YouTube because some of the other West Side coaches who went there and do their own thing have their own methods. But it doesn't mean that they have been more successful than using the standard protocols. Okay, so people need to keep that in mind. I'm choosing to use the standard percentages for my waves these days that they use at a West Side because it's been successful for them. And yes, there are other people who have been successful and they have their own methods, and that's okay. That's fine. I wish them the best of success. But I also know coaches who have been just as successful, who I talked to, behind the scenes about this, who went there, who coached there, and everything else. And they also believe that these standard percentages work amazingly well if you use them correctly. So that's what I'm doing. So just a reminder for some of the people who are like, well, I feel like you should be exploding even harder. Well, I get faster on these as I get narrower. Because I did 10 triples today. I did the first 4 with a wide grip, then I went medium, then I went close for 3 and 3. But they get faster as I go, and I think people do need to keep in mind I'm running a lot of band tension. I'm not just running like 30 pounds of bands, guys. I'm running 80 pounds of band. And on a bench, that's quite a bit. So it does slow me near the end, but I'm still getting that frap as I get narrower. I'm not as fast on the wide grip, and we know that because I'm not as fast on the wide grip when I max either. We're working on it, and the only way to get there is to practice it. The only way to get there is to practice it. But my chest was lit up from this. My chest was lit up. And for those curious, yes, the scale is slowly coming down. A couple weeks into my calorie deficit, I'm down 3 pounds. We have more to go. We'll keep going down. Like I said, I'm going to assess at another 12 pounds, right? When I get another 12 pounds lighter, we'll assess. Because people say things, and I hate that. They're like, well, what weight do you plan on cutting to? What body fat do you plan on cutting to? I don't. I don't have a plan. I will get there and assess it at each set point. That is my plan. I need to see how strong I am when I'm down another 12. I need to get down to 215. Assess how my strength is going. Assess where I think my body fat is. And further change the plan from there and figure out where I need to be in terms of strength gaining, where I need to be in terms of leanness, body weight, Wilks type scores, things like that. Okay? So hopefully that makes better sense. This has got to be assessed as we go. I'm going to need to fill out one of 2 weight classes, right? And figure out how lean I can afford to get, how lean I can get and be comfortable with it and not feel like I'm starving myself, not feel like I'm losing strength, and I'm just going to have to work with it. But we've made phenomenal strength gains this year, and I'm still gaining strength. Gaining strength now even in a deficit because I've got everything pretty well dialed in. So we're gonna keep rolling with it. But the speed work felt good today. Honestly, once I got into these narrower grips, these went quite a bit faster. They went quite a bit faster. And I know there are some guys who do speed work faster than me. However, they run really light weights and they have stronger maxes. All right, they've been at it longer. My speed work is getting faster as we go. It's just going to take time. But I'm not worried because I'm pushing as hard as I can. We're getting a maximum training response, and I'm getting DOMs from it. I actually get sore from all this speed work. And you guys watched me sweating on my speed work on the lower body last time. Right? I was dripping with sweat. It's hard work. It's working. We're making progress. Bench is getting stronger. You guys saw the benching this last week or 2. Right? Everything's coming along. So just keep it flowing. It's working. It's working. And yeah, hopefully it gets a little faster. Not hopefully, let's say that it will get faster. How's that? Then we did close grip. I've decided here's what I'm going to mostly mess with. The board work, close gripping, different variations of close grip, my JM presses, keep working the triceps. Last time in this slot, I chose to do board presses. Today I chose to do close grip. I wanted a little more full range of motion, right? Because I do more of the board work on the max day. And I felt like today I just wanted to make sure my chest got a little bit more work at the bottom. And I feel these in my pecs. It's kind of like I'm doing this because I know I need a lot more tricep. And a closed grip is a good tricep exercise, and it's a good bench builder in general. It's a good bench builder in general. But I feel it all in my chest. You know, a lot of people are always like, oh, that's a tricep exercise. Well, it is, but I feel more pec than I do tricep, right? I feel more pec. Doesn't mean the triceps aren't working hard. I just don't feel them. But we went with 230 today. I got all 5x10. And last time it was harder because I board pressed first and I just couldn't finish my 5x10 even with 225. And I did feel the tricep on the last set. Today, this just, again, my pecs, front delts, everything were really, really, really lit up from the speed work. Lit up. And they continued to be stimulated during this. Got a hell of a chest pump. And even now, when I'm voicing over, my chest feels a little sore. All right, my whole upper chest feels sore. Whole outer edge of the pec and my front delt. They got a lot of work. And this is a lot of work. I mean, 5x10 after speed benching. 230, I mean, it's not the heaviest weight in the world. But, you know, realistically speaking, for my benches, that's okay. I need to get stronger, get that 10 rep max up. But these weren't super difficult. Like, I left reps in reserve here. I maybe could have got one more rep on the last set. There was about 1 rep in reserve there. Then I'll see if we can progress it from here, right? It might be harder on my max days because I tend to do the board presses first. But I feel the board presses in my chest also. So this is all really feels like chest work for me, even though I'm trying to do a lot of tricep. All my tricep work ends up being really chest work for me, which is fine. We need both. We need pecs and we need triceps to bench. But this, again, felt like pecs, front delts. But I think what people need to remember, doing very high volumes of closed grip pressing is still going to work your triceps. They're not being removed. Even though, again, a lot of people think of them as purely a tricep exercise. This is really a chest exercise. Just a little more tricep involved. I just don't feel them on it. So, that's the funny thing with a lot of these lifts. My tricep movements feel like chest movements. And we can interpret that a lot of different ways, but it doesn't matter because I went ahead and I did something that is a tricep movement for me after. Like, let's just make sure. Because, you know, we look at the closed grip, and I'll quote Louis Simmons. We know that building your closed grip bench press will build your bench press. So how do we build a closed grip bench press? Well, we come over to that. The JM presses. This will build your closed grip. We are really hammering the triceps and the heads of the tricep that get worked on the benching. And we're doing it as a multi-joint exercise. And I'm not opposed to single joint movements these days. I do them. I don't do that many of them because I have so many other big movements like this that are still doing what I need them to do. And this is easy on the tendons, the way I do it. And there are variations we can do if we start to get inflammation that I have the equipment to do. I did 10 reps there and it didn't feel heavy enough. So I went up 5 more pounds. Now we're at 125. And that'll be a goal for me, you know, to get to a full plate per side again. And I feel like my bench will go up. My triceps will be stronger. And the way that I do these in the way that I really feel the tricep. I really feel the medial head on these a lot. And interestingly enough, the medial head of the tricep is what I feel the most when I do a football bar. Not so much with the straight bar. I feel a little more lateral sometimes against heavy chains or bands sometimes on a max. The football bar, I feel the medial. But it gets lit up. It obviously works the lateral head too. But I really feel that medial head, which tells me, you know, again, I need more meat there. And we need more meat there in general. My whole lower half of my tricep needs to come up tremendously. My benching will come up, and this is how we do it. I ended up doing 7 sets of these because I felt like I had a little bit left in there, right? It's like I really felt my triceps get a good pump, but I felt like they had a little bit left. And this is going to be the last tricep work I do for the week. We're not going to hit it again until Monday. So, like, let me go in and just go ahead and take them as far as I can. You know, so we went up with a slight weight bump today and did a little more volume. So I did that last set. And that last set left my triceps sore. I've noticed that since then, because, I mean, it's been just a little bit. It's been about a half hour since I finished these, because I've been doing other stuff, doing the voiceovers now. And now I really feel like a bit of tricep soreness happening. So that's good. We know that we really hammered them. Got in, worked those triceps, finished them off. Hopefully they continue to grow. They continue to get stronger, right? Because that's the name of the game. Yes, I'm trimming some body fat down, but I'm not doing it fast. So we can gain strength. I've got enough body fat and I can cut slow enough that we can keep making gains. And I'm sorry, there's no reason to never stop making gains. Like, if you come to me and say, well, I want to cut and I just want to hopefully keep 90% of what I have, I'm like, well, you're an idiot. This is probably not the right channel for you. You need to go to some whatever G4P cocksucking channel or something. I don't know. This is not the place for you. You need to be always making gains. And you shouldn't be cutting so lean that you're not making progress. Like, why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. Unless you're a physique competitor. And the reason I say that, why would you cut to a body fat you can't maintain? Like, why would you sacrifice your gains for a temporary body fat unless that is the form of competition you do in a competitive environment? Okay, that's irrational. You're wasting your hard work. You're throwing it away. And that's the best way to look at that. So I would say that perhaps you would be better off always cutting slow and continuing to make progress. But again, I'm coming from the perspective of a strength coach, right? I'm coming from the perspective of a strength coach. We don't want to ever sacrifice performance. We don't want to sacrifice strength and muscle mass. A physique competitor has a different mindset though, right? They only build the muscle so that they can have muscle left over after they cut for their physique competition, right? That is their end result. So they don't mind sacrificing a few pounds of muscle mass. Does that make sense for a lot of people? They don't mind it because the end result is the competition. And they know and accept going into that competition, you can't keep all your muscle and cut that lean. You're going to have to give up 4 or 5 pounds of muscle. Maybe more. And that's it. You're going to burn it off. It's going to rip down. You're going to lose it. And they're okay with that. Because they just accept that they have to overbuild and overbulk to cut down that lean later. But it's a different mindset, isn't it? Right? Different end result. And most of you out there are not doing it for that, because most of you wouldn't want to cut to a body fat you can't stay at for months, right? You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do it for just a single week. Well, they do. It's very temporary. Most people who want to look good, that's their reason for it. They want to look that way year round. Or at least 6 months, right? Even if they can't do it year round, at least 6 months out of the year. I can at least understand that. I can appreciate that. Well, let's come back over to the training. We did the inverted rows today, 5 sets to failure. Yes, I know these are a lot of reps now. It's okay, I don't mind, because I'm doing heavier work for the other stuff. We're doing 10s on the pen lays and stuff. It doesn't matter if these go up well past 15. We're getting the desired effect, and some higher reps with the back will be okay. I'm going back towards more 10s on most of my movements, with a few exceptions. This is one that can be an exception, because we really need that extra volume for the upper back. Delts tend to be very volume resistant. This helps with my rear delts and all that. All right, we just want to get meat put on up there for better stability. And then I finished off with 3 sets of hammer curls to failure. Yeah, I only did 3 sets of these today because I'm doing some of them on all my 4 training days because I row. And it's just to build the biceps, brachialis, forearms. And I don't need a whole lot of volume because I'm doing them after rowing each time. It's just to get in and finish those muscles that maybe could be limiting my rowing and maybe aren't getting fully fatigued, because I need more arm. It'll help with my benching, even the bicep, even the forearm. It will improve your bench. And we've discussed why in the past. There's reasons for it. So 3 sets just kind of to failure really kind of hit everything. They felt very fatigued, very pumped. They felt like they got worked, and that's fine. And because I did 5 sets of the rows with high reps, I can get away with only 3 of these to failure, and it'll be okay. I'll get a good growth stimulus. I do more of these if I feel like I didn't really push the back stuff as much. I'll do like 5 sets. As you guys have noticed, we base it on total amount of work. because I do have to row tomorrow. I don't want everything so fatigued that I can't train tomorrow and do my rowing after my other work. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.